now, the tasting. Hi, I'm Brian.
And I'm Derica, and you're watching City Steading.
Go ahead.
To learn to grow and brew and take control of your food, don't forget to hit subscribe. And if you want to be the first to be notified when we have something new to share, hit the bell icon too.
So, a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago to be exact, because this was the 6th, I made a Hydromel Mead. Okay, here it is right here. I haven't racked it, haven't touched it, it's just been sitting, and you can see it's actually still active. But after 2 weeks, I want to rack it off these, well, they're grapes now again, they're raisins. I want to rack it off that, get it off some of the sediment off the bottom, put it in a new bottle, and we're going to taste it along the way, because, you know, what's the fun in making alcohol if you can't taste it? I don't expect it to be perfect yet, but it's just an interim taste. You want to get an idea of where it's going. I do have plans for this, though. Talk about that more in a little bit. So, I have another clean carboy right here. What I'm going to do, take the airlock off, set that to the side for the moment, grab my auto siphon, have my lovely assistant stick it in about halfway. We don't want to go all the way to the bottom. And then she's just going to hold it there, and I'm going to give it a couple quick pumps to get it flowing. The idea is you want what you're siphoning from to what you're siphoning to be at different levels, height levels, so that the liquid can actually flow. It works off of a vacuum, believe it or not. And she's just going to monitor that and try to keep it below the level. You can see how fast this is going because we have it much, much higher. Now the idea is to try to keep it from splashing. I've been given a lot of grief by people in the past for letting things splash. It doesn't guarantee a bad mead if it splashes. It can oxidize, but it doesn't guarantee it. I've actually never had it happen. I know people that have, so to keep it as safe as possible, I'm racking with as little splashing as possible. That's why I put the tube all the way to the bottom, letting it go in. We're getting there. It's going fast. It's going really fast. That height difference. Now, what we're trying to do, you probably can't see it in the video much, there's a thin layer, about a 1/4 inch, of what's called the lees, the dead yeast, and the other things that have precipitated out of this mead that we don't really want to drink. They can add some off flavors, and it's a texture that I don't really want in my mead. So we get as close as we can to that without actually sucking up any of that stuff. And it's really just a delicate thing. You just got to watch where that siphon is, and as you get closer, you just keep a watch on it, keep a watch on it. When you start seeing it get disturbed, you stop. She's doing good. You don't usually do this either. No. Usually this is me. Looking good, almost there.
I don't really want to
just a little bit more, a little bit more.
I'm letting go.
Yep, right there. I got it. That's as far as you want to go with it. Oh, sucked up a little bit. Sorry.
It's the...
Yeah. Got a couple of raisin pieces in there. It's okay. We got so much good stuff. You're going to get some sediment at the bottom again. It's okay. It's not the end of the world.
So let's talk a little bit about our bottle before Brian takes it away. If you can see this line here,
it's called the
top,
Croissant line.
It's called the Croissant line.
What it is the when the yeast first starts up, it creates a lot of carbon dioxide right away. The colony's building, and it all rises to the top. It makes this foam. Well, not all of it, but much of it rises to the top and makes a foam. That's while the oxygen is working its thing. The colony's building up. As that starts to drop into the solution and actually create the alcohol and CO2. Thus it's not working off oxygen anymore, that croissant starts to dry and it just kind of stays there. That's a sign of a good, healthy fermentation.
The recipe we already talked about, we have our raisins at the bottom now, and the very bottom is the lees.
Yum.
Take it away. So if anybody's curious about what we use for a platform, it's just a simple wooden stepping stool. We put our main vessel at the top and our racking vessel at the bottom to help with the gravity for our gravity siphon.
Now I'm going to take a reading on this just so that we can get a final gravity. The initial starting gravity is on the other bottle.
I'll go find it.
I keep doing that. But I'm going to pour, I can't pour this till you come back. We'll be right back. Okay, so we checked and it was 1058, which is actually a pretty low original gravity for mead. And I know that. It's going to come out somewhere around 7 to 8%, we're hoping. And that's what we're going to do now. We're going to test this. I'm going to pour it into this tube. Derek is going to hold that funnel really still for me.
Remember, our intention was to make a hydromel, which is a light mead.
Yeah, the whole point was to have that lower alcohol content on purpose, so it's more drinkable more quickly. Now, some say it's not the lower alcohol that makes it more drinkable, it's your process, things like that. I'm going to disagree. Every single recipe I've ever seen for a sack mead, which is your really long or your grand meads, they take years to produce. Yet I know people who make 4% meads who are ready in 3 to 4 weeks. So that correlation stands. But anyway, here's where we're at for final gravity, which isn't really final gravity, it's mostly final gravity. Oh, we're at 1008. Nice, there's some residual sugars in here still. That means maybe this will end up sweeter than I thought it would be at a little bit lower alcohol. It might be like more like 5%. 1008 I said? Yeah, let me use my handy dandy app for that. Which, the reason I've never put the app in the description, I can't seem to find it. Okay? I don't know where I got it from. I got it from the App Store. It was just called ABV. It's wonderful, but I don't think they make it anymore. So that's not really helpful to you guys.
So today is 8. What's today's date?
The 20th. 6.6 alcohol. Not too bad. I wanted something that had at least 5, maybe 6, but having this come out this way is wonderful. What we're actually planning to do, I haven't mentioned this.
What is it? Sorry.
1008, 1.008. What we're planning to do with this mead, and I haven't really mentioned it yet, is I plan to bottle it, and I'm hoping to get 4 bottles out of it, at least, because I want to bottle it 4 different ways. I want to have a plain, an oaked, a carbonated, and a fruited. That way you can see that one batch can turn into many things, and you can fruit it with many different things. We did this with cider with just fruit, but I wanted to show you how to carbonate it, how to make it oak it, there's so many things you can do. This is a great way to see some of how to do that. So I'm just going to pour this right back in here. And I don't know why I did that, because we're going to be doing a tasting.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll pour it out of the big jug. We'll do it like the winos do and have fun with it. And now, the tasting. So, with our new methodology for tastings, we like to go through the aroma, and then the appearance.
Yes.
Then aroma. Yeah, see, I'm a natural blonde. Appearance, aroma, and taste. So appearance, it's kind of cloudy. Mine has something floating in it. It's probably a piece of raisin that got sucked up. But yeah, it's kind of cloudy. The color is very different from when I made it. It was a much darker color when it was first made, and now it's much clearer.
Yeah, it kind of looks milky though because of the cloudiness and the light color.
It's milky. It's still a mead, and you know what? Meads can sometimes take a long time to clear out. They can take a long time to become good, and this just might be one of those. I don't know yet. This is why we do these things, we experiment. To me, part of the fun of natural brewing and the method I use is you don't know what it's going to do. I hope it's going to be good, but I don't know. I was actually surprised at how much residual sugar there was in it. That shocked me, because most of my brews go to dry or past dry. They're dry.
But as you can see,
it's still going.
It's still going. So we did cut this one off short, but that was our intention.
I wanted it off the least.
Like we were saying, our intent for this was to make a hydromel. So we wanted it to be quick, we wanted it to be light, and a low ABV.
Yeah, so this right now is 6.6%. There's probably still a little bit of yeast in there, so it is a living drink, which is, okay. So it might taste a lot different now than, say, in a month from now when the yeast is done doing its thing. But I'm ready to give it a smell.
Okay.
Lots of grapefruit. I get grapefruit, totally.
And again, Brian gets grapefruit because he is
That's the hydrogen
smelling
sulfide.
an off scent that is not attractive
It's
to
not
him.
an off scent. It's an expected scent from fermentation.
Yes, it's expected because this is so young. But his brain is telling him it's grapefruit because he does not like grapefruit. So he doesn't like the scent. His brain is trying to figure out what does it smell like. He doesn't really know. So it's saying
like grapefruit.
it says grapefruit. It doesn't say grapefruit to me so much because I don't mind grapefruit.
That's where she gets feet from.
That's where I get feet from. But we're trying to stay away from that now. So if you visit our merch store where you can buy a beautiful mug such as this, you'll see that we have still available the t-shirts that say how footy is your fermentation.
For not much longer.
Those are going to be discontinued. So if you want one of those t-shirts,
They'll be
make
worth money
sure
someday.
to get one soon because we are going to be taking those down soon.
Okay, the more I sit with this, smelling it, the more that grapefruit smell goes away. I'm getting something else that I can't really just place. I think it might be the raisiny aspect. It smells kind of like a dried fruit to me.
It is very, very odd smelling.
All right, you ready for a taste?
Yeah, I almost had a word for what it smelled like to me.
Clean, clean.
All right,
It's cold.
let's go.
Here we go. Definitely got some honey left in it.
Yep.
The honey flavor comes through. It's very watery.
Yep.
It's not, doesn't have that thick, rich mouthfeel. And, again, this was just a basic, simple hydromel. Could I have spruced it up a million ways? Yes. Do I plan to? Yes. I don't even think I'm going to keep a basic one at this point. I think it needs some tannins. It definitely needs that tannic aspect, a little bit of astringency, maybe even a little bit of acid. My first instinct when it got in my mouth, though, it tasted like the basic cider. At the very first split second, it tasted like a hard cider, and then it went to the honey sweetness, and then I get that real honey on the backbone.
I wasn't getting the same taste experience that I was getting from the basic cider, but I can see where.
I think it
why
could
you're
just be the
comparing
hydrogen
that.
sulfide that I'm getting right off the bat. That's giving me that flavor. It's actually quite drinkable though. It came up nice.
Like the first sensation I get with the taste is some sort of weird, undescribable.
Almost effervescent. There's a little bit of sparkle to it.
Yeah, sweetness, and then that goes pretty quickly into yes, this is honey based, where you can taste that it came from honey.
You know what it really tastes like?
And at the end, my tongue dries out slightly.
Oh, so you think it is tannic already? I don't think so.
I get the sensation on my tongue.
Just watery to me.
Right.
What this really tastes like, if you take a glass of water, mix like a tablespoon of honey into it, if that's about what this tastes like. I don't really taste the alcohol at all. It's 6.6%, so it's not surprising, but it's funny because in a 5% or 6% beer you can taste the alcohol. Not tasting it here.
I am.
This is a lovely blank
but-
canvas that, I'm gonna do this in 4 different bottles. And I'd said I was gonna do a plain oaked, fruited, and carbonated. I think the carbonated and the plain are gonna have something else added. The carbonated, I might add some acid to it to bring out those strong flavors, and that'll make it really nice with the carbonation. And then the plain, I think I'm gonna take some raspberry and mulberry leaves and add some tannins to it and see what that does. Now the oaking one is also adding tannins, but it adds the oak flavor as well, so it's a little bit different than just adding tannins, but this needs a little bit. It's still not done. This is still fermenting. You can see by the airlock, the pressures are, there it goes, look at, boom, there's some bubbles. Now I know that's not a true representation of fermentation. It's not. Counting bubbles and all that doesn't matter. There's some CO2 in solution here that could just be coming out. It's
Because
possible.
remember, we just racked this, so we did.
But
everything
because it
right.
was still at 10:08, I'm going to guess
Yeah.
it's not done. That's a lot of sugar to be left for a yeast that can easily go to 14%. There's no way. So could it be stuck? Maybe, but I don't think so. I think it's still active. It's just going to take a while. And that's okay. We're fine with that. The one ingredient that goes into brewing that a lot of people don't seem to have enough of and don't want to give enough of is time. Without time, brewing doesn't really work. I mean, you can't make a brew and have it be done in 2 days unless you're making kvass. Coming soon, I'm going to make bread kvass and I'm going to make beet kvass. They're actually completely different things. I don't know why they're both called kvass because they're not even remotely close to each other. We're just working out the final details because, you know, I can't just make kvass. I gotta make brionized kvass. You know, it's gotta be my way, which means I'm probably gonna make the bread, which could be another video too.
So in closing, thank you so much for sharing this experience with us. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give us a like.
If you didn't, give us a like anyway.
Cheers.
Have a good day. Hey everybody, if you want to learn to grow and brew and take control of your food, don't forget to hit the subscribe icon down below and hit the little bell next to it. That way you get notified of everything we do.